urban style individual.
What's up with y'all? Hopefully this video finds you in good spirits, and if not, well, at least you not DSP. And do me a favor, man. Call your mama. Call your pops. Call your parents. A lot of times they be wanting to call y'all, but they feel like they interrupting something, or they getting in the way, or they might be annoying y'all. And a lot of times where their phone goes off, a text or a phone call, they hoping it's you, they thinking it's you. It's perpetual disappointment. Look, call your parents, man. And while we're on the subject of doing favors for me, I was looking at my analytics and I seen that it's a lot of y'all who watch the channel, but you are not subbed to the channel for whatever reason. Now I have a special set of skills and y'all know how the rest go. Y'all know I'm crazy. Now, what do we have here? We have Phil doing his best rendition of a retcon. Now, he's going to try to convince us that his version of events is what happened, even though what happened was recorded for the world to see. It's ridiculous. But let's get into it.
There's been some drama on my Kick channel over the last week. Notably, the drama was that about a week and a half ago, I actually gave a new feature to the people on Kick. Allow me.
See, he already starting out with the nonsense. You did not give anyone a free feature. It was a feature that already existed. Kick gave them that feature. What you did was took it away. But I'm gonna let him continue.
To explain, I need to give backstory because it's so convoluted and confusing. So allow me to explain.
It's actually not convoluted or confusing. But what you're going to do is act as if it is, so your version of events can give us so-called clarity. It's nonsense.
Months ago, okay, Kick instituted a new system by which when you watch someone's channel, you earn channel points. Can you use those channel points for anything? A few little things, but nothing major. So, for example, you can wager the channel points for, like, guessing, like predictions, they call them. So let's say, for example, I don't know, I'm playing American Truck Sim. A moderator like Dunsfelter would put up a prediction saying, will Phil finish this job within the next 20 minutes? And then people would wager their channel points and either win or lose them depending on what actually happens and how they voted. Okay?
Yes, and a lot of those features exist to drive engagement, Phil. Kick instituted those features to actually help the people that are streaming on the platform. It was not curated specifically so you can make money off of it.
In addition, there are highlighted messages on the Kick chat where if you can use your channel points you've accrued, you can get a message that pops up that shows a certain color and is like a highlight on the screen. And you can have the ability to have text in there or use emotes. All right. So when these channel points launched months ago, I turned it on right away. I was like, oh, this is cool. Let's turn it on. This is similar to what we used to have over on Kick, or excuse me, over on Twitch. And I like that feature, right? I want to give more features to my viewers.
You see how he said, I want to give more features to my viewers, as if he was in the room coding it or something. He's the one that brought it into beta. He's the one that pushed it out to the masses to see if it was something that Kick could actually use. Phil, all you are is the beneficiary of these features, but you had nothing to do with their creation. It's just weird the way he's framing this.
Immediately, we find all these problems with the system, okay? The problem is trolls can basically accrue the points, do highlighted messages that are awful. You know, they could do doxing, they could do racist, sexist things, bigoted things, insulting my family members, horrible things, right? Okay, we'll ban the trolls. Oh, that doesn't solve it. They could still do the highlighted messages even when they're banned. So they can't chat, but they can send highlighted messages that everyone can see. So what's the point then, right? So immediately we saw this is a big problem because trolls started doing horrible things. And again, it's one thing if it's like it's a stupid insult or whatever, but we were having people doing heinous things like doxing and stuff. You can't have that, okay? So I had to turn off the highlighted messages for like 2 months.
Okay, so the reason you turned off the highlighted messages, according to you, was because people were trolling. But somehow you're going to try to draw a correlation between them being turned off and you not getting support, which they're not mutually exclusive at all, but you're going to try to act as if they are.
Because of this, okay? So about a week and a half ago, people in Kick Chat kept bugging me saying, hey, are you aware they fixed this loophole, this problem? I was like, no, I'm not aware that they fixed it, okay?
Just a small tidbit. You notice how when people are asking him for something, he always uses the terms, people were bothering me, people were bugging me, people were annoying me. Now he can see how people being persistent and asking for something can be annoying, but he can't see how him begging for money every day is annoying. Interesting.
So people just kept asking me for 2-3 days straight, will you turn them on? Will you turn them on? Will you turn them on? And finally I was like, all right, fine. I'll turn on the messages. Since you guys keep bugging me for it, I'll just do it. So I turned them on, and then sadly, it almost felt like a cause and effect. I turned on the text messages for moral support. That's what I call it, moral support. And when I did that, I'm not kidding, for 2 to 3 straight days, I got almost no support whatsoever via subs or kicks on Kick.
But what does that have to do with you turning off a feature? Because last time I checked, you turning off moral support doesn't have anything to do with people sending you subs and kicks and whatever else that you can send on Kick. My point is the pathway to giving you money on Kick still exists, whether the moral messages are there or not. So how could you draw this correlation, Phil? Unless you were planning the whole time to gatekeep this feature in order to get money. Because I don't think that Phil had some crazy revelation and he went back and looked in the mirror and he told himself, what are you doing? That did not happen. What's more likely that happened is Kick probably reached out to him and said, look, we heard about what was going on with this. And if you want to continue to stream on our platform, this, and this is going to have to change. That's what I believe happened.
And it was almost like a direct 1-to-1 ratio. I turn on a new feature to give something more to my viewers, and my viewers started not supporting anymore. What happened? So I'll be honest. Yes, I got upset, which I shouldn't have. And I apologize for that now. I shouldn't have been getting angry about that. Instead, I should have sat down and had a conversation with everyone about it. But what happens is there's a troll element. And everyone knows that my Kick Chat, I just talked about this yesterday on stream, actually. There's a difference between my Kick Chat and my YouTube chat. Allow me to explain.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. When he says allow me to explain and goes into over explaining the most simple of things, my skin crawls a little bit, and I'm pretty sure he takes a couple of years off my life. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. It's like, who are you speaking to when you're explaining these base level things? We're all adults here. We don't need a 5-paragraph essay about the most mundane things, Phil. My goodness.
YouTube streaming I've been doing now since 2021, okay, daily. And the people who watch me on YouTube are my longtime viewers, my longtime supporters, people who've been with me for 17 plus years, who like my stuff, or they're people who maybe are more recent newcomers, but they like the positive element of my streams. They actually like the content, they like me and my personality, they want to hang out. So the YouTube chat is a place to do that. It's more moderated, it's more, I don't want to say safe, but it feels more like a place where you can kind of chill and have a good time. The Kick Chat is freaking rowdy, all right? The Kick Chat is literally at all times full of action. The chat moves way faster than the YouTube chat. People can use motion emotes and things in the Kick Chat to keep it moving. We have the morals into the chat constantly. So the chat rate's higher and people are way more energetic and boisterous. But hand in hand with that comes the trolling element.
No, we already know where he's going with this. He is going to do his best attempt at blaming trolls for his behavior. Nobody made you spaz out because you didn't get money, Phil. You spazzed out because you feel entitled to people's money because you have a gambling addiction. That's really what this boils down to. You oftentimes will spend so much time addressing the branch of the issue, but we know branches will grow back. So that's why it's necessary for you to address the root of the issue and uproot whatever the problem is. So therefore, there's no more growth. This is not that hard to understand, but we know that Phil is going to go to his detractor 101 narrative to explain away his terrible behavior like he always does.
As you know, a year ago, I was introduced to Kick by Kino Casino. And as a result of working with them, they tried to convince me to do stuff on Kick, so I started, and I've been streaming on Kick and YouTube for a year now, right? So what's happened is, since I cut off Kino Casino and I don't work with them anymore, the people who like them essentially have kept watching me exclusively on Kick. And they're definitely a trolling element. And I understand that. I explained this yesterday, but I kind of want to break it down in a way that makes sense on the show today, okay?
So, what are you going to say today that you did not say yesterday? Because according to him, he's going to break it down even more so we truly understand it, which means he's going to apply a higher concentration of pignosis. That's all that means.
Okay. I'm okay with having two audiences. Okay, I am. And I feel now in the modern day, it makes sense to have two audiences. One audience that really likes me and positively supports all my content, and one audience that's there to kind of razz me every day, to make fun of me or whatever. I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with is those who take it to the extreme. Those who are attacking my family members, those who are trying to literally lie about me every day and say things that literally don't happen and act like they're factually true things. Okay?
See, but the truth is, none of that really happened. What happened was you did not get money from them and you felt as if they slighted you. That's all it is. I gave you something and you felt like the crowd was not reciprocal. And you keep pushing this narrative that these people on Kick are holds over from the Kino Casino. Phil, that is simply not true. It's nothing but trolls and or some of your whales playing double agent to make you feel good about what's going on your streams, man. They'll go over there and give you a little bit of support. They'll come back on YouTube, give you a little bit of support so you can keep perpetuating the narrative that you have thousands of viewers and multiple people are supporting you. That's it. Because for whatever reason, their ego is tied to your ego. So they feel like they're sticking it to the detractors by giving you money, which I always thought was absolutely ridiculous because whatever you give to him, it's just going to that damn mobile game. And we all know it.
Okay. But if you just want to sit there and you want to kind of make fun of me and you want to razz me and you want to do this stuff, I'm okay with that. Really, I am. And the Kick chat, 100% is the place to do it. That way we kind of have that controlled element. If you want to be more positive, you want to be more of a bigger fan of my content and support it in a positive way, YouTube side. If you want to kind of be the razzing crowd that's active and rowdy and tossing emotes and making fun of me, Kick side. I'm okay with that. And
so if you're okay with it, then why did you take away the feature, Phil? So obviously you are not okay with it. This is why I say it's very important when dealing with people that you don't, I mean, it's important to watch what they say, but it's far more important to watch what they do because Phil will say anything. But a lot of times the thing that he says does not line up with his behavior.
And that's a very different attitude. You have to understand, for many, many years back in the day, I was always, how dare you be critical of me? How dare you make fun of me and laugh at me? This is how you don't play. How could you look at my content and try to make fun of it? My content's the best on the internet, and that's absolutely ridiculous that you would do that, right? Today, I'm way more open to it. I just don't really care, to be honest. Okay, everyone does it anyway. If we have an environment here where we can have that in my content and I can control it, and let's be honest, I can make a buck on it, then it's all good.
You hear that? He's willing to embarrass himself as long as there's money tied to it. And we've seen that with the Kino Casino arc. And to give some clarity, Phil on average has somewhere between 50 and 80 viewers on Kick on average. So that's going to amount to somewhere between $400 and $600 a month, which is a worthy amount for just showing up and doing nothing. And that's why Kick persists. If there ever was a time where that dollar amount went lower or went away altogether, you can bet your ass he would not be on Kick anymore. So for my trolls out there that be on Kick, I know y'all be going crazy. I know y'all be doing your thing. But if y'all really want to stick it to Phil, let him come to stream one day and have 15 people on Kick and watch how he responds.
Right? Who gives a shit? So what happened was last week, really, and this is my fault, I got into a bad mood about everything that was going on Kick. It literally looked like it was a direct response to me giving a new feature, giving back these highlighted moral support text messages. I turned them on, and then for like 3 days, no support at all. Okay? Seriously. And it really upset me. It did.
Why would something like that upset you unless you feel entitled to people's money? Just listen to the stuff that this guy is saying. He is so accustomed to being shameless that he doesn't understand what he's saying is absolutely ridiculous, even though he thinks he's clarifying something like this is going to make the situation better when all it's doing is making the situation worse. You were mad, Phil? About what?
So basically, I was lashing out and I was arguing with people in the Kick chat about it. And we went back and forth for several different days about it, right? And then finally, I want to say it was like Sunday night. It was Sunday night. I came to a realization, okay? I was thinking about it and I was like, in reality, me arguing with a certain audience isn't going to ever improve anything. It's not. It's just going to make things worse. It's going to give people this content that they want where they can selectively pick parts of a stream and try to showcase it as that was the whole stream and say, see, all Phil did was argue with his audience, because that's exactly what happened.
No, nobody is saying that you sitting up arguing with your audience the entire stream, Phil, and you need to stop with this narrative. But the fact that you thought it was a good idea to argue with them about their money to begin with is a problem. It doesn't matter if it was 10 seconds or if it was 5 seconds. It happened and it shouldn't have happened. That's the problem.
People cherry picked and they're like, so Phil said he got no contributions and therefore he argued with his audience and says he's not going to give them anything ever again. Literally not what happened. Number 2, over on Kick, we've got one person who supported all night, your future stepdad, and it was 1 sub. So from now on, I'm going to be very abundantly clear with all of you on Kick. Don't ever ask anything of me ever again. Don't ask for me to add you messages, new emotes, pop-ups, nothing. Because until people on Kick actually support the content, you get nothing. The YouTube side, you guys have been incredibly supportive and nice people. But the Kick side just sits here whining, bitching, complaining about things, wanting more, and doesn't support. So you get nothing, okay? Unless we get 50 subs by the end of tonight, now it will be 49, you're never getting text messages in your moral support ever again. So you got an hour left. Get to it. Or shut the fuck up forever. We're not going to listen to your bitching anymore. A lot of whiny people, demanding people who don't reciprocate.
Actually, that's exactly what happened. You didn't get money at the end of one of your streams and you told them verbatim, don't ask me to give you anything ever again. That's exactly what you said. So I'm not sure what you're talking about right here.
I've been doing great. I've been hitting all of my goals. Support has been outstanding. In general, things are really positive and good right now. So how could you say that I'm making no money? I'm angry that no one's supporting me and I'm not going to give you anything. It doesn't make any sense. But
we're saying that because that's what you said. You even put a wager on it that if you want it, you better give me this amount of money or shut the fuck up about it. That's exactly what you said. But you think that your pignosis works on normal people, and it doesn't, man. Pignosis for normal people is like a glass of water, but for your dents, it's like a shot of liquor. It just don't work on us.
That's how it's portrayed on the internet, because that's what people do. They cherry pick the moments and they try to fucking portray it like that's what happened when it's not what happened. Okay? So after thinking about this, I was like, I've got a change of heart. All right. And what I want to do is I want to try to completely flip this on its head. Instead of being a grumpy old man, where I'm not going to get anywhere being a grumpy old man, I'm going to completely change my attitude. So I went ahead and I added back the moral support messages with text, but I said, you got to use 500 channel points to do it. This way, this will avoid nonstop spamming. Because if I had it as 100 points, literally the entire chat would have been the messages, right?
That's what you should have done from the beginning. And that's what a logical person would do. But somebody who approaches everything with their emotions acts the same way that you do. And this is why, even though you're sitting up here with this fake apology, you're retconning what happened at the same time. So this apology means nothing, Phil. It really doesn't. Apology only means something when the behavior changes. That's it. It means nothing if the behavior continues. So you can get up here all day long and talk about how sorry you were and you were reflective and yada, yada, yada. But in the same breath, you're talking about what we saw happen did not happen, Phil. So this is just a waste of time.
Right? So I said, let's do it for 500 points or more redeemed. Let's bring back these messages. Now people can actually do, emotes, messages, or whatever. Okay? So I did that as of Sunday night. Okay? That was during the Tormented Souls 2 stream. In addition, there were some people who I'd been upset with over the week, and I unbanned them.
And why were you upset with them, Phil? I would venture to guess that it was one of your whales and or one of your dolphins. You wanted to know why they were there all day but not giving you money. So once again, it goes back to your entitlement, which goes back to your addiction. You see how your addiction is the root of all your problems, Phil? You see that?
And again, that was my fault, getting upset over nonsense, like literally over nothing. There was no reason for me to be upset because things have been going good. Does it suck when you get a decline in support? It does. But there was no reason for me to lose my cool like I did. Okay? So I ended up unbanning a bunch of people as well. All right? Sunday night, people came to the stream and were like, wait, what? The moral support's back? People are unbanned? This is great. And people started supporting again, and we're very positive and happy. And for the last day and a half, everything's been fine. Everything's been good.
It's almost as if you attract what you are, Phil. That's part of the reason why every time one of your dents is discovered and we figure out who they actually are, they're just as unhinged and sometimes even worse than you are. You're going to attract what you are, Phil, because that's how the universe works. It was designed for things to be made whole. And what do I mean by that? Think about a rainforest, right? And think about how they're always excavating things and tearing trees down. But if they left it alone, it would heal itself because it was designed to be self-sustaining. You don't understand these fundamental things because you don't care about anything outside of what you got going on in your spare bedroom.
Okay? So I just want to make this clear. Nothing's wrong is happening right now. We're good. I understand that the kick side is always going to be the more rowdy, controlling element. I get that. It always will be. That's how it's set up to be. I would rather have people who are like that, who want to kind of, make fun of me, to be on that side and have the YouTube be a different viewing audience. I'm okay with that. I like that, actually. And I've gotten a lot better, I think, at juggling both chats over the last year. It's just that every once in a while, things change or something happens and I get upset. And it's my fault, And so I recognize my mistake. I corrected the mistake. I apologized to people who felt like maybe I was being abrasive over the last week. And we move forward positively and we're all good.
So that's the company line. Because Phil said it's over, it's over, right? And what Phil doesn't understand about giving an actual real apology, it actually has to come from a place of sincerity. And people can tell when you're being disingenuous. What this comes off to me as is like a politician reading something that some scribe somewhere wrote up for them. And you can tell that the words are hollow. You could tell that they really don't mean what they're saying, but they have to do it to save face. This is how this comes off to me.
So last night, I'm streaming American Truck Simulator and everything's going good. We're having a good time and everything. And people are like, are you aware that Asmongold is talking about you right now? No, and I don't care. Everyone talks about me at all times. Every day someone's talking about me, someone's making content about me, something's doing toxic shit about me. They're watching detractor content, they're watching out of context shit. What they never do is watch my live content. So what I mean, like, if people always are going to talk about me, they literally never watch me. They only watch the out of context detractor highlights, which will focus on negative stuff.
Can you please give us the name of the channel and or individual that is routinely presenting you in a way that's undesirable? Please, you cannot give us a name. You cannot give us a channel. This is more of Phil's pignosis and him perpetuating narratives. That's all this is. He has to realign the dents. He's effectively have them in formation and giving them their marching orders because a lot of noise has been coming in from the outside and he has to make sure that things are still functional and they have not been affected by it. That's all this is.
So, of course, what's the latest negative topic? Oh, well, Phil was really mean to his audience. He said that they gave him no support and he was going to give them nothing from now on, which isn't what happened. What happened was I was talking specifically to the Kick viewers. There had been a big, sharp decline in support. It seemed to be directly in tandem with the moral support message issue. I did react poorly. I had already corrected that attitude. I had given back the messages for 3 streams and everything was good.
So this man just said that that didn't happen. Then he went on to explain how it did happen. And this is why I say that this is disingenuous. Phil, you can apologize all you want to, but even in an apology, that does not mean that you are above scrutiny. You still have to pay for what you did, and whatever that payment means, whatever that judgment means. So for example, think about somebody who goes to court and they had Phil's logic. No matter what they did, as long as they went in there to the judge and said, I'm sorry, they just get off with it. No, it doesn't work like that. A lot of times you'll see people prior to their sentencing say that they apologize to the victim's family and what have you, but they still got to go to jail, Phil. That's how life works.
But Asmongold doesn't know that. He watches the detractor content and thinks that this is what's going on right now. Of course, he fully believes it at face value and thinks that it's all true, and then says stuff about me. So that then in tandem has people talking about me in a negative light. That sends people to my channel in a negative light to troll me. It's the usual stuff. This is nothing different, nothing special. This has happened a zillion times. It will happen a zillion times again. Been there, done that.
But why would it happen a zillion times again? Phil, you don't understand that you are the factory that's creating all of this. Everybody is reacting to you. That's what's happening here. If you were mute and actually went about the business of doing what you claim you do, which is chill streams, you just mind your business, you just worry about your audience, the trolls would have been gone a long time ago because they wouldn't have anything to make content on. But your problem is you're so damn emotional, you're so damn impulsive and insecure, you have to respond to every single little thing. And you are a desire-driven person. You are not a purpose-driven person. So you are always looking for leisure. And what ends up happening is the burden of the important things in your life is left to other people, like sustaining yourself, what you're going to eat, your mortgage and things like that, because all you're worried about is your happiness, and you're willing to forego everything else as long as you feel good. But you keep missing how other people have to pick up the burden. That's the problem, Phil. You are a burden to your audience opposed to you being a relief for them.
I'm used to it. It's not a big deal. But this morning, it seems like everyone is just talking about it. Like, why? By the time that these people who do this kind of internet commentary get to the topic's already outdated. That issue literally is already not a big deal. We're already past it and we're already on new days of content and everything's good. So why are we still talking about it? Oh, well, because Asmongold brought it up. I don't give a fuck what Asmongold brings up.
Then what is this about? And like I said, this is him trying to give you the company marching orders, the company line, if you will. This is how we feel. This is what's going on now because I decreed it, because I said it. We don't care what you said. You don't get to determine when something's not relevant anymore because you are irrelevant, Phil. So Asmongold can talk about it next week. It's still going to do numbers, right? So what are you talking about?
Why do I give a shit? Doesn't affect me in any way. Just another wave of people who come to my content and say, oh, you suck, you suck. Okay, great. See you later. And now today is a normal day for me because I don't care. I give a shit.
So instead of saying, damn, all these people are coming to me and they're all saying the same things, there may be some truth to what they're saying. No, they're all just idiots and morons. They don't know what they're talking about. So are their eyes and ears deceiving them, Phil? Seriously, because the stuff that they're seeing is coming out of your mouth, man. Asmongold went through a bevy of videos from different time periods and different games, and it was the same behavior, the same antics. And a lot of people who have forgotten about you, right? They were reminded of you, and there was a level of sadness to their comments because they couldn't believe that you were still acting this way, Phil. That's the reality of the situation, bro.
Yeah, no big deal. No worries. We're good. We already have, like I said, We already kind of recovered from it. We're already fine. And I'm sorry. I wholeheartedly admit I was in a bad mood for a few days. I shouldn't have been. All right. I don't even know what really rubbed me the wrong way. It was probably not stuff related to the streams at all. There's other things that happen in real life behind the scenes, some stressful stuff that's been affecting me. And, it can sadly come through in the content, which it shouldn't.
He's lying. You just said that you thought there was a correlation between you turning off the feature on Kick and you not getting money, and that's what pissed you off, and you should not have been mad about that. That's what you said. Now you're saying it was because of stuff behind the scenes. You see how the more he talks, the more convoluted things get, the more muddy the waters are, and the less things make sense. It's crazy. I don't know how Cat listens to this guy on a daily basis, man. Seriously, just think about this, man. Even the most mundane of things, Phil is going to give you a complete encyclopedia on it. And it's like, why? Just stop talking.
And then I got at odds with certain people in chat for no reason. It's just dumb shit, but we learn. We live and we learn and we grow. And, I immediately, when I had that moment of retrospection on Sunday, and I looked at it, I was like, why am I acting like this? Why am I upset? Things are going good. I'm hitting my goals. The content's getting attention. We're all doing good. Why am I upset? I literally couldn't think of a reason. Like, I actually don't know why I'm upset and I'm at odds with the Kick chat. It doesn't seem to make sense.
My question is, when you were sitting there on the floor with your legs crossed and the candles lit, and you were doing your little hymn and having your self-reflective moment, why didn't you reflect on your addiction? Why didn't that come up? Because that's the root of this problem, Phil. And let's be real about it. We know that you are beholden to strangers on the internet because you feel good about being at the top of a lot of these guilds in WWE champions. And I got some stuff that I'm cooking up about WWE champions because I came across a few things, and we'll get into that at a different time. But at the root of this is your gambling addiction. And why am I acting like this? Oh, I just don't know. It's because you're overly emotional. That's why. And your father never made you do something because you were being unruly. You probably never had to cut the grass. You probably never had to rake leaves. You probably never had to shovel snow. He probably never made you clean his car, stand in a corner. You probably never got a whooping. None of that. You always got what you wanted to get. Phil's the kid that was eating Fruity Pebbles for dinner. And if he didn't get his way, he was going to throw the spoon across the kitchen and cross his arms. And his father's going to look at his mother and say, look, I need to correct this. But she was going to run over there and give Phil a hug, right? And eventually his father probably just threw his hands up and said, look, man, whatever. Y'all just do whatever y'all want to do, man. Obviously, y'all don't need my input. You got it. And this is the outcome of that.
And then I realized, oh, yeah, that's kind of how they're supposed to act. That's the point, is that the Kick people are like that. The YouTube people are a different crowd. It's okay. So again, I'm sorry. I really am. I'm sorry that I acted like that. All right. As for Asmongold, I don't give a fuck what he says. I don't even know what he said. I don't care. He literally reacts to detractor content, which is always skewed. If he actually wanted a real perspective on someone, he would actually watch their real content. Like, instead of watching detractor clips on X, he would say, oh, is he streaming right now? Let's see what he's doing. And then tune into the stream and then judge for yourself rather than just the out of context shit.
Why are you so mad about something you claim you did not watch? You didn't watch it, so you don't know if he tuned into your stream or not, Phil. So what you really just did was told on yourself. You did watch Asmongold reacting to you, and this is why you're seething right now. But once again, you like to put on the air of, I am so unbothered, it doesn't matter, nothing affects me. But here we are, once again, you having a self-soothing cope session because somebody on the internet says something about you that is true, by the way. And he didn't even make any inflammatory statements about you. All he did was laugh. Because to most people, you're pathetic and you're a damn joke. And just is what it is.
He doesn't care. He has a giant crowd of who watch him, and he literally just watches the clips. He always has. He's a clip watcher, right? Like, that's what he does. So he's going to watch it out of context. He's going to believe it. He's going to make comments. I don't give a shit.
So are you saying that he's ignorant? That's what you're getting at? that people are so dumb that they're beguiled by detractor content, right? That's essentially what he's saying, that we're so dumb that we just believe every single thing that's on detractor content. You're acting as if people are putting together highly edited, high production value AI versions of you or something, Phil. That's not happening. That's why the whole Denzel thing was so on point, man, because it really wasn't a parody. It really was just true to life. That's why I named the video When Art Actually Imitates Life, because that's what it was. So you can kind of, like I said, you can make up these narratives all you want to, but all Asmongold did is what most of us do: point and laugh.
Doesn't affect me. Every day you got people who talk shit about me. It doesn't affect me. I've been here for 17 years. I'm on year 18. I'm going to be here as long as I want. It doesn't matter how many people have something toxic or negative to say about me today. It doesn't affect me. It does. I'll still be here the next day and the next day and the next day, pumping out content, having fun with a good audience, and making a living doing it.
Sure, and you probably will, but surviving is not thriving, Phil. Those are two vastly different things. And it's really sad because your quality of life can be so much higher than what it is right now had you had a hint of responsibility, had you cared about people outside of yourself. Because there's no way you can tell me you actually care about Kat when you make enough money for her standard of living to be a lot higher than what it is, but it's not, because you are addicted to mobile games and a few other things, I'm sure, allegedly, right? So you can get on here all you want to and act like you're so unbothered, but at the end of the day, we know what's really going on.
And I'm happy for it, and I'm grateful for it. And I'm sorry when I do have times when I get upset about shit and I act in a stupid way. That's what happens. Okay? It is. That's what happens. And I'm sorry for that. I am. Okay? But the truth is, because here you go. Here come the idiots. Well, the only reason that you had a change of heart is because Asmongold talked about you. Asmongold watched the stuff yesterday. I already added the moral support messages and unbanned everyone on Sunday. So unless there was a fucking time machine where I saw his reaction, I went back in time a day and I did it on Sunday, what you're saying makes no sense and you're a fucking idiot. But again, that's the detractor's perspective. We make up a narrative. We invent shit that's not real, and we believe it as our reality because we're mentally ill idiots. So believe what you want. I don't care, but I don't own a time machine.
And with that, you just undermined everything you tried to say. You could have completely ignored that. This would have been so much better if you came on here and was concise, admitted to what you did, apologized genuinely for what you did, and moved on with your quote unquote positive content. But you just couldn't do that, could you? You just couldn't do it. You had to try to create a narrative. And it's like, Phil, you're recording yourself doing this stuff, dude. We can easily just pull it up. You act like it happened 10 years ago, man. It happened a couple days ago, Phil. My God, this dude will lie about anything.
All right. So now that topic's done, let's do some shout outs. Let's say hellos, and then we can get to more interesting topics. Okay? And that's not true, too. Oh, well, he was talking about how over 15 years you begged for your audience's money. Literally never, ever asked for contributions until my trolls ruined my YouTube channel and made it so I couldn't make a living on ad revenue. All the way up through that when they got me those false copyright strikes, which ruined my channel and made it so that I couldn't make a living on ads anymore, that's when I had to start asking for crowd support. Before then, I never did.
Now we know that's not true, because part of what Asmongold showed was you, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, talking about, please click on the ads. Please click on the ads. You've always been a beggar. Now your style of begging has evolved over the years, but you're still a beggar.
And that's a fucking fact. And you can go back and you can watch documentaries that talk about it. Go watch the fucking June the King documentary that literally shows that there was a year where all my views tanked because false copyright strikes affected my channel, kicked me out of the YouTube algorithm. I couldn't make a living just on ad revenue anymore, and I had to change my model. I literally never intended to be an internet live streamer. I wanted to do on-demand videos. I had to change my model to survive because people fucked with me.
No, what happened was, when YouTube first started, it was really YouTube user centric, meaning the people who had YouTube channels, it was very much geared toward them. It was really beneficial for them. But over time, when YouTube started getting advertisers, right? The criteria for what they viewed as a good video started to change. Now it start being about retention and watch time and things like that. Because what you really should do when you hear the term algorithm, and I said this before, you should replace that with the term viewer, because that's really what it is. YouTube is catering to the viewer. This is why you get recommended videos based on stuff that you've already watched, because they think, okay, you watch this, then surely you will probably like this too, right? And they're not always right. And sometimes it is overtuned, but that's the theory behind how it works. It has nothing to do with them picking on specific creators and quote unquote kicking them out of the algorithm. When they put your videos up to the new criteria based on how viewers view a good video, they determined that your content was garbage, and this is what it is. So naturally, they said we're not going to recommend this anymore, because when we push it to people, nobody's watching it for an extended period of time. They're clicking on it and they're clicking away, or they're ignoring it altogether. So why would I continue to show them this? Doesn't make sense.
So when you complain, oh, I hate that Phil asks for money, then you shouldn't have fucked with my livelihood. I never had to until people did. Now you deal with the repercussions. You don't like the current Phil that asks for contributions. You made the monster. You're Dr. Frankenstein. Now you gotta live with the monster you created, bitches. And if you don't like it, too fucking bad, because you don't have a time machine to go back in time and change what you already did. Tough shit.
No, we don't have to live with the monster. We view the monster from afar. Your dents have to deal with the monster, because they are the ones that are feeding you, Phil. And this is the problem when someone is not resilient. They, instead of them trying to pick up a new craft or new tools to diversify what they can do, they just lean on old habits. Phil, things do not get easier in life. People just generally get stronger, and they do that through experiences. But you're never going to have those experiences if you cooped up in your spare bedroom the whole time, screaming at your damn camera about things you have no control over. What you should be doing is looking at yourself and figuring out, why haven't I been able to shake this terrible habit that I've had that's put me in this deep hole to the point where I have to come on stream and beg strangers on the internet to sustain me. That's your real problem. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Urban style content. I'm dead.